let's pull this one. Be spontaneous. Oh, I love that card. Hold on, I'll give you a better look. Let me just get those out of the way. The artwork on these cards is just amazing. I love the moon being all red in the background. So I think that pretty much speaks for itself, Taurus, with be spontaneous. That is what I'm going to take as kind of your mantra for the month, Taurus. So have you kind of fallen into a rut? Are you already in the back to school, back to whatever, if you have a family where you're feeling overscheduled and trying to get all your ducks in a row and make sure things run smoothly? Or even with your job, is it just, I know a lot of the last quarter at, a lot of industries is things come down to the wire and things get really serious and so forth. It just seems to be the last bit of the year can sometimes be the most stressful and hard to manage. So I feel that Be Spontaneous coming out is just reminding us that once in a while we have to break free from the schedule, break free from the day-to-day whatever, and take opportunities to do something we really enjoy doing in a spontaneous way, where you're flipping through Facebook and you see a band that you like is in town tomorrow night and the tickets are cheap, and why not? Something like that, where you're just like, okay, let's go do this. I don't need to have it on my schedule 3 months before it happens. It's just that spontaneity can bring a lot back into your life, especially if you're married and you're a parent, and that's kind of, I know, where you start doing the same thing, and you feel like you live in Groundhog's Day kind of thing. It's hard to make that work in your life. It's hard to get babysitters, or it's hard this or that. But try. It's good for us to just be like, you know what? That sounds like fun right now. And we have the Four of Wands come out, which is a party card. I mean, look, they're dancing under fireworks. They are having a good time. So I'm definitely taking this as a time to celebrate your life, celebrate who you are, just celebrate being able to breathe and move and think and do all the things that us humans do on this amazing planet. You don't always, there may be a specific reason to celebrate coming up, but regardless, be a little spontaneous, have some passion and fun or excitement in your life. And that was a really fun way. Ooh, that went far. We have the Queen of Swords. And Queen of Swords, I love the Queen of Swords energy. She is straightforward, to the point, blunt, very decisive, can make decisions and make things happen, and that kind of energy. So just because you're having a good time and being spontaneous and so forth doesn't mean you can't hold on to that. And Taurus, you may very well fall into this category. I know a lot of Taurus do. But, or this could be an air sign in your life that you're dealing with, that you're having a good time with. But this person is pretty, they're going to cut to the chase. And when I see this card, I think no BS, which is a-okay with me. I don't like a lot of BS. I don't like a lot of drama or ridiculousness or over the top kind of stuff. I love to have a good time. I love to have fun, but I'm not an extremist in most things. I'm a pretty mild, tame person. And I really like it when people don't have any BS and they can talk in a straightforward manner with me and entertain me doing the same to them. And I always feel that this card comes from good intent, because it is the Queen. So she has good intentions. However, she's not always perceived that way. Some people that are a little more meek or mild may take her as a little too strong or over the top, or too big of a personality. But let's see what other card comes out with it. I'm not trying to take the whole deck right now. Let's see if I can shuffle. We have the Five of Coins. I feel like I hate the use the word segregation, but this card always kind of brings up this separation of people, of class, of rank, or it can be like on the outside looking in or on the inside looking out. It's this very distinct kind of line. Like this shows typically shows a really beautiful church with the poor people, beggars, or injured people, that kind of thing outside of the space. It also always reminds me that there's usually help nearby if your perspective allows you to see it, if that makes sense. So, this is sorry, just watching it play in my head. That doesn't make sense to you. It, like, the way I look at the cards, the visuals of the cards cause almost like a movie to play for me, where I look at the different situations and how the energies of each card interact with each other, and every time I pull a card, it kind of adds to the story, if you will. And I pulled this last card with an intent for clarification, if you will, on this card, or to specifically add with this card, because I really wasn't understanding how it was playing a role here. However, with the Hierophant coming out, the Hierophant, it's funny because this is, I said, a church, right, with people outside. The Hierophant is also depicted in a church setting as a religious leader with some followers. Now, this is not specifically saying, hey, go to church or whatever. However, I feel like maybe some of this lack of excitement or whatever in your life that you're trying to pull in may be associated with a church or group or some type of organization that you're involved in. One where there's a hierarchy, there is a separation, because I said, what did I say? The word I didn't want to use was segregation. And I don't know why that word was so strongly brought into my head, but I think separation is probably a better word, but two different groups of people, or two different classes of people, or two different they're removed from each other. And it's also shown here, and with the religious leader and whoever's following him. So, in a lot of times with this card, I think of school, any kind of institution where you're learning from someone's your teacher, your mentor, your someone that holds you accountable to certain things, rules or regulations, or commandments, if you will, because if you want to get biblical. But with this card coming out first, and then the Hierophant, I feel like this is definitely group associated, as in I feel very compelled to move the cards that way. And not that they're separate situations, but to just better understand like the chapters of my movie playing in my head. And it may be, I'm actually really feeling right now that the spontaneity may very well be having to do with some air sign energy, whether this is a friend or coworker or boss or whatnot, and being very blunt and straightforward about whatever this group is and whatever the rules are or the status quo about it. And this may be you speaking out or for something within a group or organization that's, and it may be like this be spontaneous kind of energy of celebrate and be excited. And it may be, I'm really excited about this and I want to present it, or I just feel like a lot of logic and truth and straightforward speaking is important in this situation. Let's pull some more cards and get some more clarity here. The World and the Knight of Swords. So again, a Swords card coming out, Swords Court card of the Knight. The Knight of Swords is, he's making moves, right? Nothing looks slow and calm about this guy. Everything about that card screams movement, it screams activity, it screams being involved, it screams front line. You know what I mean? Like this knight out there on the front line fighting a battle. Very decisive and maybe a little risky, maybe not thinking things through all the way, or being a little short-sighted. But coming out with the World card, that's a completion card. What goes around comes around, and the beginning is the end kind of thing. And understanding that there's cycles to what happens in our life and the completion of cycles. So maybe whatever this is, whatever this institution is, I think the cards are, you're feeling in a place where I feel like this person feels that they're in a place to be honest, to be open, to speak freely, to engage in a very straightforward manner. There's no negative cards out here other than, this can be construed as negative. It depends on your perspective. But I think it was really to draw attention to whatever the situation is, a separation of groups, or how. I really wish I had more words in my head to try to explain this. I feel like I'm on repeat, and I'm really sorry if you're tired of me saying the same thing over and over again. I just can't seem to wrap my brain around exactly what this is, but I'm sure whoever this is making sense to, it makes sense to. So, however, I see everything as positive, and I see this person being able to speak really freely and being able to express themselves, and they might be a little, too into it, a little too hyperactive, a little too, not thinking before they speak, maybe a little too blunt or a little too harsh or a little too whatever. But coming out with a World card, that kind of be more positive energy of understanding the cycle and the completeness of whatever that is. Let's pull two more. That was me just not being able to shuffle. And then I will stop the camera and we'll do the second half of the reading. But let's pull two more so out of here. Is that two? We have the Devil and the Three of Coins. I really think this is not necessarily like your religious practice or your spiritual practice, and much more associated with work or some kind of a group involvement or like organization, like a sports team, or something that's um, different. I feel like there's some issues with working together with others. The three of coin is a lot to do with compromise, presenting yourself wisely in front of others, presenting yourself in a way that others are going to want to work with you to help grow something more. Like this person, a lot of times in cards, is shown as they're like up on top of a pedestal or bench or something selling their wares at a market, and there's people who are really well dressed and kind of like look wealthy standing at their feet, like, yeah, you're selling a cool product. Me buying it and telling my friends about it will help you grow your business, or that kind of thing. Coming out with the devil card, the devil card is bad behaviors, addictions, things that control you, those kind of energies. I just feel like you, because I'm going to take these court cards as you. I really am feeling that. I'm feeling like you are being able to speak your truth right now, and be really logical about things, and you're feeling really decisive about those things, and it may be meeting some resistance with whatever this group or organization you're a part of. There just seems to be issues with compromise, or possibly almost like I don't know why this came to mind, but codependency came to mind. So there might be unhealthy emotional attachments, unhealthy just relationships in general within this organization or community that you have had the guts to speak up about. And maybe this world's coming out because it's like, I'm not going to do that anymore. This needs to come to an end, and I'm just not going to play that game anymore. Let me see where I am on time. Sorry, that was probably loud. Yep, I'm going to pause. I'm going to stop the camera, and we'll continue on in a moment. You, Taurus, but I just wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything in this reading. It seems to be kind of heavy, and I was going to stop here with these two and clear everything and do a different reading. I feel like I need one more. I feel like there's some kind of final word that we need to hear on this. So yeah, I would be very mindful working with others this month, whatever group. If there's somebody I feel like outside your league on another level than you, on the inside looking out on this group, if you're like a group member and someone who is a group leader, organizational, leader, and there's something you have to say, or there's something you don't agree with, or whatever, you feel very capable of saying that and voicing. But I feel like this may be the reason why you want to talk, is because there's bad behaviors or unhealthy relationships forming there, or whatever that case may be. And that's why I feel like I need to pull at least one more card. And this card has tried to flop out a couple times, and this card is all about flexibility. This is the Two of Coins. So I think this coming out as our final card is telling you that maybe you don't need to be in control of whatever this is, and that's why being spontaneous and the Four of Wands came out first, is to remind you that maybe this isn't your show, and maybe you don't have to tell people. You don't have to be in control of it. I would definitely take this as needing to go with the flow a little bit more. And maybe that's why I've had a hard time reading this, because my perspective's been different, with the spontaneous coming out first and then all these serious cards to end with the Two of Coins. Instead of pushing you to speak your truth, I should have been telling you to shut the hell up. My neighbor's got a motorcycle that's loud. Okay, sorry. Perfect timing, right? After I just told you to shut up. No, but for real, maybe whatever this is, maybe that's why you need to be a little bit more spontaneous and loosen up a little bit and not be so like, I'm going to run things and this is how it needs to be, and I'm going to create these rules in this group. And so if you are the head of an organization or group or whatever, you should maybe take a really hard look at yourself and call yourself on your own crap. I don't know.